Hey everyone, I'm back for a while. I took quite a break from making videos, at least a break for me. I know to most people, being away about 3 weeks wouldn't be much of a long duration, but for me that's quite an absence. As a lot of you know, I was used to making videos, at least one video a week, and I was getting into the point where I was making one or two or more a day because I was so into it. And sometimes when you go overboard, you can overdose on something, and that's what happened to me. And there's a lot I want to talk about. I have records to show today, and I got a really good buy today on some cool records. A lot of good deals on Elvis records and some other records. But before I get into that, I just want to update you on where my head is at with the vinyl community right now and stuff. And if you, for any reason you find this uninteresting, feel free to go ahead and bounce past this and go to the record showing. But anyway, what happened was I was having some, I'm still having some pretty annoying financial difficulties. I've been spending too much money on records lately, and as anybody who watches my videos could probably surmise, I've been just spending too much, and it's kind of created some financial troubles for me, so I had to lay low with record buying. And I said in my last video that I was going to try to stay out of the record store, all of the record stores actually, throughout the entire month of May. That was my goal, and I want to say that even though I've got records to show, I still have stayed out of the record stores, because I also added that I wasn't going to stop going to garage sales necessarily, or Goodwill, or flea markets. In other words, go to places where you can buy records for $1 or $2 and spend maybe $20 instead of spending like $100, $150 in a record store. So I've been very successful. And it hasn't been that difficult at all to refrain from going into the stores, I found, which is kind of surprising. I thought it was going to be really difficult to keep out, and I found that once I got my mind made up that I was going to do this, it's been easy. And I'll tell you a whole bunch of stuff relating to this. Well, one day I was driving with my girlfriend, just happened to be going past the side of my favorite record store, and it was a nice day, and the owner of the store and his assistant were outside, and I waved at them, said hello, and I said, I'll see you guys in June, because I plan on staying out through May, and the way it's going now, I just may stay out through June also. I mean, I have to really buckle down and spend a lot less money for a while, and that's what I'm succeeding at. But anyway, so once I made my mind up, it wasn't difficult, and I found it gave me more time to concentrate on another passion of mine, which is movies, collecting DVDs. I mean, I haven't bought any new DVDs, but I've got tons and tons of movies that I need to watch, and I kind of went off music and back to movies, and I'm still into movies. And it's funny because I've got kind of a one-track mind. Sometimes I'm into something and I get into it big and I don't stop, like as evidenced by all my vinyl videos here. Once I get into music, I didn't care about anything else. It was music, 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 records, records, and records. And I wondered what I was going to do about my films. I didn't really care about watching my movies anymore. And for a while I was even thinking of maybe selling some of my DVDs. I thought, I'm not really into these things anymore. I may sell them. Glad I'm not doing that, because now I've got a resurgence, and we kind of did like a flip-flop situation here, where now I'm back into the movies and I'm not so interested in the records anymore. But that's just how it goes with me. I kind of go all out in one and then all out in the other, and I kind of like go back and forth wherever my passion takes me at the moment. Alright, so that's basically what I wanted to say about that. Once I made up my mind not to go into the record stores, I really just didn't have any problem, and I was able to devote more time to getting a lot of movies watched, and that's what I've been doing with my spare time. Okay, but I did go into Goodwill a couple of times and spent just a few bucks. And today, Sunday, I went to my local flea market and I got a real good deal. And here's what I'm gonna show you. This flea market was such a nice day today that it was really jam-packed, and in fact, I couldn't even circle the entire flea market. There were so many record vendors there, and new record vendors, not the same record vendors I see all the time. So I wasn't able to make the whole circuit. By the time I'd gotten about 1/4 way through all these dealers, my girlfriend had already finished the entire flea market, which is unusual. Usually I'm the one that's finished ahead of her, so that was really pretty amazing. And I had already spent my quota. I didn't spend much, very little, but I got some great deals. And without further ado, let me start with the Elvis stuff. And whether you like Elvis or not, you should appreciate these deals that I got. I had a couple of guys there that had all these records, and they only wanted $4 each for them. Well, to start with, here's the record, the first one, that I really wanted for a long time, in good condition. And it's the 1958 album King Creole, okay, that Elvis made from Elvis's movie that he considered his best film. I agree, I think it's his best movie, but I mean, when I got this home, it was pretty dirty. A lot of dirt everywhere. And I did my cleaning method, and I was able to make this like in really good shape. I mean, the spines are intact. Just pretty damn good shape. I mean, I have this album in different ways, but this is the original. At least I think it's the original. I hope it's the original. And Elvis fanatics out there, help me out here. The inside sleeve of this one, it has this label. This might, I don't know if it's a repress from the early '60s. It might be. I don't know. And I'll be honest with you. I pulled a Frankenstein switch. I pulled this record out of another one. This record is in better condition. I found another King Creole that had a cover that was not in good shape, but the record was in better shape. So I asked the guy if I could kindly, you know, if it mattered to him if I switched records. And hopefully this is still a good record. Needs a little cleaning, but it's in much better shape than the one that I had in this cover to begin with. You know, so there's nothing wrong in my view with doing a little bit of doctor's work, if you will, when necessary. Alright, well that's the first Elvis album. Now the rest, all of these albums, I think all of them, are in shrink wrap. Not sealed, but in shrink. Here's Elvis's Golden Records. Not the original. This one says stereo up there. It's not the original one. You know, it's a reissue, but or a later issue. But it's got the cellophane on it, and I always keep these tags on. This is from some kind of store, some old store, and inner sleeve looks like that. It's got Elvis on there. The corners are still. I hate when that happens when you buy records like that. Elvis's RCA stereo catalog. Well, obviously, like I said, it's not an original. Well, you can tell, come to think of it, because this advertises later albums. I don't know what year this came out in, but sometime in the late 60s, I guess, the late 60s reissue. But it's really nice, in really good shape. And, you know, $4 these albums were. So for $4, I mean, I'm not going to resist the chance to get a decent older album in great shape in the shrink. Okay, next album that I didn't have, which is good. Elvis Presley, from Elvis Presley Boulevard, Memphis, Tennessee. Now, this has the original Corvettes sticker right over Elvis's face. I don't like to really remove these stickers. I like the nostalgia of it. I used to shop at Corvettes back in the day. I mean, I don't know. This kind of ruins the cover with, but it's still in cellophane. $4. And it's an album that I didn't have. You know, I'm always into upgrading. You know, upgrading better quality albums from what I already had, but it's even better when it's an album like this I've never owned before. So, and here's another one that I never got around to owning, also with cellophane on it. Elvis, That's the Way It Is, with the shrink. $4. I mean, this guy had a lot of beat up records too, believe me. What do you say? Elvis's Stereo 8 tape catalog. And a lot of the records this guy had was orange RCA. A lot of the records this guy had were really beat to hell. I mean, he had a lot of original 50s and 60s Presley albums, but I had them all for the most part, but they were pretty banged up. Here's another one, $4 in the shrink that I never owned yet, and I waited. Sometimes I love when you wait and wait and wait. Just wait it out, and you find them. I had a lot of opportunities to buy Elvis Country, but I waited for just the right copy because they were a little bit, lacking and a little undesirable. Here's one with the shrink. I'm just so happy to have these in such great shape like this. So, on the orange label. And again, if anybody out there is a real Elvis hardcore fan, maybe Scott, or anybody knows something different about these, could tell me the information, I'd appreciate it. What I have, do I have good deals here? This was somebody different that I found in the flea market. Here's an album I didn't have. It was the Pickwick version, Elvis's Christmas album, but it's sealed. This one's sealed, never opened, and this was $1. So for $1, sealed Elvis Pickwick album, really beautiful. Okay, that's it for Elvis. On to the next. From that same dealer that I got the Elvis stuff from, they had this, Gary Puckett and the Union Gap, featuring Woman Woman. This is just called the Union Gap. It's got the cellophane on it. It's a stereo version. And again, it's got the store sticker on there. Wait a second. This is the first time I'm noticing this. Hold on a second. There's something in here. Oh. A little note about Columbia stereo can be played on mono equipment. A little notation sheet that I didn't really know was in there when I bought it. And the Columbia Rock Machine turns you on. And it's stereo, it's not mono, but again, this thing looks beautiful. I mean, it really does. And again, I'm hoping these got to be originals. I mean, as I often say in my videos, these days with all the reissues that they put out, you could buy a reissue and think it's an original, and not know it. And that's one of the reasons I don't like reissues. I mean, I don't know. That seems to be mostly a me thing. I don't know how many of you out there are feeling the same way. Okay. Also got this one. This one was $2. An album that I really like, and I've had already, More of the Monkees, my favorite Monkees album, but this one, again, shrink wrap. The shrink wrap here is coming off, not in great shape. And, again, speaking of reissues, I think they reissued these records too, haven't they? I mean, I just hope this isn't, it's in great shape, I think. I mean, a little dusty, but the Cold Gems label needs to be a little dusted. Okay, another album that I got was an album that I had years ago and I've seen quite often, but I hadn't picked it up yet. And it's Dick Clark, 20 Years of Rock and Roll. This is a great compilation that has all kinds of artists on here, spanning the 50s, 60s, and 70s. And I had this record back, in the old days when I was collecting records in my original collection. But I found the records themselves here kind of interesting because it's on Buddha Records, but I've never seen this label before. Anybody know about this? The label I've always seen is a typical, the purple label with the Buddha statue on it, I guess, for the albums. But I never saw a black label like this, so I don't know what this is. Reissue or just different or what? But this was $1. It's a 2-record set for $1. The records are in excellent condition. The cover's in excellent condition. I don't buy beat up covers of records. I won't do that unless the record in question is something that you just can't find ordinarily, and take it or leave it. Okay, let's see here. Also at the flea market today, I found this. It's a 10-inch record. Around the The Christmas Tree, Perry Como. And I always like to find 10-inch long play records. Something that I want to hear, not just something to buy just for the size. And at Goodwill, I was at Goodwill the other day. Same thing with 78s. I collect 78s, and I found this, which I cleaned up a bit. It's Rags to Riches by Tony Bennett. The 78s I collect are either rock and roll or, you know, vocalists like Frank Sinatra, Nat King Cole, Tony Bennett, Connie Francis. No Italian music or classical or anything like that, but vocalists, certain vocalists and rock and roll on 78. I love that. I got a couple of 45 picture sleeves to show that I found. This one here, Sam Cooke, the song Cupid. Which I got cheap. And a Stevie Nicks picture sleeve. Stevie Nicks, Stop Dragging My Heart Around, which I got today at the flea market for like a $1 or something. I don't know. Now, the last thing I want to show here, I saved this for the last because it means something to me. Derek Vaughn. That's Derek Higgins. I won his contest, and I won this. Flyover, and I've already played it all the way through. I really enjoyed this. I'd already heard it in the background when Derek was making his videos, and I knew that I liked the sound. But what's interesting about this album that I want to make clear is, for some reason, I had a real uncanny experience with the contest when Derek was running it. I don't know. I had been watching his videos a lot recently, and I was kind of like getting into it, and I was having Derek on the mind, and when it came time for him to run his contest, somehow I knew then and there, I'm going to enter the contest and I know I'm going to win. It was a done deal. I saw it happening. I knew I was going to win. And I never, maybe like a handful of times in my entire life I ever was so sure of something before it happened. And it happened. Can't believe it, but it did. It's kind of like I made a video response to his contest, and then I just laid back, and I just, every once in a while, I kept picturing myself listening to this soundtrack. I call it soundtrack, you know, this kind of music in the background, kind of relaxing. It just was what I needed at the moment, too. I found this very relaxing, very peaceful, and from what I'd heard in the background on Derek's channel, I kind of knew I'd like it. And I just felt like at the time there was a lot of VC drama going on, and it just all seemed like I was going to make it. I knew I was going to win. I knew it was mine. It was only a matter of making it official when Derek picked the name out. And then sure enough, a week or so later, the day came. Derek did the drawing, and he said at the beginning of the video, "Hi, I have 31 participants, 31 names." And I just sat there and I waited. Okay, say the words, me, Mr. Mayo, and I saw it happen. I don't know how else to explain it. I saw him saying, and he pulled it out and he turned around and said, "The winner is," and he looked, "me, Mr. Mayo." I was positive. Don't ask me why, folks. I've told you about my ESP, my premonitions. Unfortunately, I have never been able to predict winning lottery numbers, damn it. I cannot predict the lottery, but I'm glad to have this. Thanks, Derek, if you're watching by any chance. And somebody could pass the word on to Derek for me if he's not. And he also sent me this, Normal Love Survival Tricks, which I have not played yet. I'll get around to this and I'll, give you an update on it. Oh, one thing else I forgot to show. Oh, a Phase 4 record that I got at Goodwill for $1. Phase 4 stereo. One of Robert Z's favorites. Chacksfield plays Simon and Garfunkel and Jim Webb, an instrumental music of songs from Simon and Garfunkel. Jim Webb. Did I say Jack Webb? I don't know what I'm saying. Jim Webb. Simon and Garfunkel. I don't know what I'm doing anymore, man. I have to sleep. Anyway, it was great to get back here making videos, folks. To tell you the truth, I'm very comfortable doing what I'm doing now, laying low. taking a break from making videos, spending a lot of free time jumping back into the movies and watching movies. I've even considered making a separate channel just for movie reviews, because I may make movie reviews, I may talk about them here on this channel, or I may make another channel, or I may not do either. I haven't decided yet, but you know, thanks for watching, and it felt good to get back and make a video. I know I'm speaking here as though I've been gone a year or something. It's only been 3 weeks or so, but for me that's a long break, and I was thinking I really wasn't into the music thing anymore, but it's just on hiatus. I'm still into music. I'll always be into music. You know, in fact, once I got stomping again at the flea market today and saw these record buys, you can't kill that kind of a of an urge that's in your blood. But I'm still staying out of the record stores, and I'm going to be successful for the rest of May and some of June, maybe all of June. Hey, I just thought of it. I just remembered at this moment. Today, May 18th, is a record show, the record fair in my neighborhood. And I wasn't planning on going there either. And I just remembered now anyway, and it's probably over by now. I think it only goes till late this afternoon, so it's gone. But I wasn't going to go there either. And I don't know, I just feel like a smoker who says he hasn't had a cigarette or something like a week, or a drinker who says he hasn't hit the bottle for like 3 days or something. So thanks for watching.